Hello and welcome to Spotlight Indie. We are back with our first of 2 live panels for this evening as part of our big indie weekend. And we are joined for what we are calling the greatest crossover in podcast history, subtitle happening on this channel right now. I'm here with some wonderful guests who are sporting some, let's be honest, quite fabulous facial hair, with the exception of one. But we'll let him off, it's fine. I'm going to get them all to go around and introduce themselves, but before we do that, I am H.L. Tinsley, the host of tonight's discussion, a roller of dice and writer of books, and for this night only, neutral lawful. Frasier Armitage, tell us who you are.
I'm Frasier. I'm the one. I presume you were talking about me and the facial hair, Holly. I mean, it's between what you and me, basically. But yeah,
I've definitely got more facial hair than you, Frasier.
So yeah, I'm Frasier Armitage, part-time robot, full-time nerd, usual host, and happy to be co-host. This is new experience for me, so I'm fully planning to take revenge on Holly, for all of the times that she's been co-host to me. And be as fabulous as I can. So that's basically it. I am here to compete, I guess, with the books, with the Beardsmen, with the I don't know what we're going to be competing for or against, but I feel like we're all on the same team, even though we're from different podcasts. So yeah, that's it.
Oh no, absolutely,
we are.
Yeah, we'll see how long that lasts before the enmity begins to take hold. But for now, we're all friends. Moving on to our next guest, sporting what arguably is the most fabulous facial hair this evening, if not in history. Tom Bookbeard, how are you? And tell us who you are.
Very well. I like books. I have a beard. So I'm Tom Bookbeard. I'm a podcaster, co-host, and DM for Beardsmen, the Bookpocalypse. I'm a secret scribe. Our anthology is coming out 28th October. It's called Locks and Keys. It's my first published bit of work. I'm very excited. And I'm a blogger and reviewer for Fanfi Addict.
Awesome. We are going to reintroduce one of our previous panelists who was with us last night. DB Rook has imparted wisdom to us over this weekend. DB, will you be imparting more wisdom to us tonight?
I can't guarantee that. Sorry. Yes, I'm DB Rook. Science fiction and fantasy author as of recent times, and I am also a part of an experiment to use holographic technology to bring our other Beardsmen into the arena. This is Charlie Cavendish, and Charlie is currently asleep. It's 5 a.m. in the morning, but we've brought him along using modern technology.
We love you, Charlie.
We love and miss you, Charlie. So, finally, David T-List, you've got this thing going on with birds. Please explain this to people who don't know you. What's the bird thing all about?
Good question. Well, put me on the spot right off the rip. So I'm David. I'm the only Yank on this particular one. I wrote Violence and Vigilance, that I lovingly refer to as V&V because it's easier. And there are birds in this book. Some are good, some are bad. Well, I guess they're all kind of neutral. Some are just hungry. Beautiful book there, Tom. So some are just hungrier than others, and to die is to feed the birds. And so the quote is, "Don't feed the birds," particularly in the arena Keswall. Don't feed the birds.
Awesome.
Mary Poppins would not do well in the world.
No,
just immediate death.
I saw that play, and she has a whole song about feeding the birds.
Do you know, it's
ground against me.
Tuppence a bag. I'm now wondering what's in that bag.
That would be a very different Disney movie. I think we can all agree.
But I would pay to watch it. Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we all would, definitely. Yeah. Probably not one to take the kids to, but depending on your kids and whether you like them or not, I don't know. However, I want to explain a little bit about the reason that I have brought you all here today, because not only do you have an absolutely awesome... Hi, Mark. Welcome to the chat. Hello, Thomas. Frasier, I was going to do this. You're just jumping in here. Like, I know you're normally the host, but just calm down a little bit, all right? Welcome to everyone in the chat. Please do feel free to join in. Drop questions for our panelists. We will read them out as we go along. But the reason I brought you all here today is because not only are you all wonderful reviewers, podcasters, authors, and people in your own right, you also are going to be of great use to me, because I have a small problem, and it's one that I don't like to admit to very often. It's one that I feel I need the help of professionals with, and it is that I am known throughout the realm as the fussiest reader to ever walk the earth. And it's a shame because I do love books, and I particularly love indie books. So I have gathered you here today to recommend some books to me. And I have a very, very specific list of requirements for these books. So I am going to ask you all to make some recommendations based on these very specific requirements. And people in the chat, feel free to throw in your recommendations as well. They're going to start out pretty easy, and they're going to get pretty weird as we go along. And I'm going to judge whose book recommendations I like the sound of the most. I mean, they'll obviously all be awesome because all indie books are awesome. Caveat, most of the time. However, to kick us off with this discussion, which is going really well so far, I would like your best recommendations for an indie book that uses the most unique system for magic. And again, I'm just going to encourage anyone in the chat to join in with this and come up with your recommendations for unique magic systems that you have found. And I'm going to be really mean. I am going to pick on Frasier Armitage to kick us off with this.
Everyone's stunned silence is basically because we're like, so many books have so many good magic systems, right? So, like, what's the most unique? Like, I don't know. Like, yeah, in terms of indie books, probably the most unique magic systems. It depends how you define in magic, because like I read way more sci-fi than I do fantasy. So if we're talking about just like weird future technologies, I could probably recommend like a bunch of different books. But if we're talking magic specific, I'm at a complete loss to think of a weird one, because all of the ones that I've read are just like pretty cool. But I will say that Wick Welker's Dark Theory book has pretty much the perfect blend of sci-fi and fantasy, which includes both weird technology and crazy magic and all of that good stuff. So if you're just looking for just like a general all-round good time where there's lots of things happening and the whole world is expansive and magically filled, then I would say that's my jam.
I mean, I think we can safely say that we're all looking for a generally good time all of the time. I will also say that I'm being very cruel here because I've given no preparation time for this. So this is completely putting our panelists on the spot. This is the challenge. So I'm going to open it up to see, does anyone else want to pitch a unique, weird, or just good magic system?
Yes.
Go for it.
Okay. And I'm going to broaden magic to include just supernatural, impossible type. Mm-hmm. First I thought Gutter Prayer, but that's not indie. That's Orbit. Kings of Paradise by Richard Nell. One of the protagonists has perfect memory, and like perfect memory. And so he will retreat sometimes when the world is a lot. He sort of has a little bit of a split personality, but he will retreat sometimes to his own, to what he kind of creates in his mind. It's this a glade or a grove or I don't remember what he calls it. Some peaceful spot in his own mind. And because of his perfect memory, it may as well be a save state in a video game. So whatever he put over there is there waiting for him when he gets back. And he can retreat here. And while he's in here, any book that he's read in the real world, and he can read as soon as he reads it, now the knowledge is his, like the Matrix, except, a little slower. Now, in this way, he learns how to build structures. He learns how to build ships. He learns how to do whatever he wants to do. He learns how to do it. Memory never slips. And so he can retreat back to this place that he's constantly working on over the course of this book. And not to go at all spoilerish, but just when you think it can't get any kind of cooler or weirder, eventually he begins to figure out how to push objects from this glade into the real world, and like so kind of like assimilate or otherwise summon weapons and things like that. There's a lot of other magic systems and things going on, astral projection from other characters and stuff in the book, but that one right there might be the most unique, and I'm not even doing it justice at all. But yeah, Kings of Paradise, Richard Nell. It starts off with cannibalism. The first sentence of the book.
I mean, Frasier's in already.
I'm done. I already added it to my list. TBR. That's now.
I love it.
Sorry.
The only thing I don't love about it is that Richard Nell managed to go in time and rip off this book right here, because in this book you also have a monk named Kale, and somehow he did the same thing 3 or 4 years before I even released mine. And so if I can figure out how he did that, I'll be happy. But otherwise, very good book.
I mean, I can see Frasier conceding to this already. Like Frasier's just like, no, I've been defeated.
Yeah, you guys win. You guys win. It's all good. Like there's 3-on-1, Holly. This is hardly fair.
You are at a slight disadvantage, Frasier. This is true, but I'm going to
have no beard to store any answers in. It's like
this is where the power comes from.
Yeah.
I'm going to jump over to Tom and DB in a minute, but we've got a couple of suggestions in from the chat. So one from JCM Byrne, Time Mark Warlock has a pretty different magic system. And also Phil Parker recommending Steve McKinnon's Symphony of the Wind book. Magic is a product of a geological phenomenon called ignicite. That's also pretty cool, unique way to do it. I hope I pronounced that right. I apologize if I didn't. But Tom and DB, do you want to pitch any magic systems that you come across?
I can't promise as in-depth an answer as David T. List. That was very impressive.
That's the coffee.
So yeah, I will hold
That's what it is.
Once again. We haven't talked about the incredible magic system within Calais and Crow by D.B. Rook.
I was considering that.
I suppose it's more like of a curse than it is magic per se. It's a Frankenstein's monster of a book in that there's lots of pieces patched together that work well. I won't plot spoil. But yeah,
you see DB's face getting very tense there, going, "Don't spoil it."
Yeah, don't fuck it up, Tom. I think generally speaking, I like a magic system that's easy to grasp and to pick up quickly. And I think, and this is going to be a cop-out answer because everyone's read these books anyway, but Ryan Carhill's The Bound and the Broken. It's something as simple as pulling threads from the spark. Different threads do different things. It's so effortlessly simple, but easy to grasp. And there's a lot he actually does with it as the books progress. So that's one of my favorite ones. Probably lesser known author is a book by Astrid Knight called Perception Check. Fairly similar, but their book uses crystal magic. You use different crystals, get different powers as a result. Very much like a game I used to play when I was a kid. That's like a portal fantasy. It's really good. And it's like this really freaking random book I read when I first joined Fanfi Addict. And it was called The Mad Trinkets by a guy called Cameron Scott Kirk. And that's the cover. Very sinister. And basically, if I remember it correctly, as I read this, 4 years ago, the magic comes from, I think it was a meteor, which was then used to forge the titular mad trinkets. And just some of the powers are bizarre. And I will always remember, whether I want to or not, one of the amulets forged was in a phallic shape, which granted particular cock powers to its wielder. And that is forever burned into my psyche.
I've got to be honest, David, I thought you'd won this round, but Tom might have just edged you out there.
Dick amulet, do it. Yes.
Okay, so some strong pictures there. DB, can you beat perfect memory or a dick amulet?
I know. What a sentence! I don't think I can.
Yeah.
I'm not very good at choosing anything under pressure, but I have managed to choose a book which I'm
Go
very
for it.
proud of. So I'm going to go with Norilska Groans by Michael Fletcher, Clayton Snyder. And the reason I love the magic system is because I was going to mention Robin Hobb, and then I thought this is an indie space. Sorry, Robin, how you go? I like a magic system that is that the book doesn't know all of it. Like the book and the characters only grasp a small part of this system, so they use it in a certain way. Sometimes wrong, sometimes missing out on massive amounts of other things that could happen. And in this book, you kind of don't really get to understand where the magic comes from because it's a quite modern day fantasy. It's not an urban fantasy, but it kind of is. You just get the little snippet of the magic, and the magic is all about stepping into other sentient lives. So when you use this magic, you kind of recall a little bit of who you are, but you're also someone else. So you get into this mess of multiple sentient beings in one head, which is just my cup of tea entirely. But you don't really, and I don't think they ever understand how it works. They just figure something out, they use it, and then we get all this mad kind of horrific stuff going on in one head. And then you take like an amulet off, and then you're the other person. So it becomes very much like snap into another world, snap out again, and love it. Absolutely love it. It was one of the books that was on the TBR for too long, and then I finally got there and was like, oh, what a fool.
If we're allowed to go outside of the indie space for just a second, I just want to shout out some amazing trad books with magic systems. Andrea G. Stewart, every magic system she writes is incredible. Then you've got Marie Lu has just released a book, or is releasing a book called Red City, and that magic system is all based on alchemy, and that is very, very cool. I just finished that today. It's an awesome book. And Pung Shepherd, the cartographers, that her magic system is kind of based on maps. So you've got some really, really cool. I can give you trad, but like these guys smashed it on the indie front. But yeah, I just wanted to shout those out because those magic systems are epic.
Like especially the Drowning Empire by Andrea Stewart, like etching magical runes on the bones, implanting them in constructs. That's fucking incredible. Yeah, good shout.
Yeah, I feel like that's 4 very strong pitches there. I'm immediately going to disqualify Frasier Armitage for mentioning trad, because as much as we do love trad, we're all about the indies in this discussion. So I'm going to say for this one, the magic system requirement, how could I resist the impassioned pitch of David T. List there? Dave, just remind me, the book that you pitched to us.
Kings of Paradise by Richard Nell, and the series is Ash and Sand, maybe? I would look for it, but my keyboard, its battery is dead, so I am flying blind.
We will post live stream, put all of the links in the book descriptions in the comments and in the description below. But let's move on to our next requirement to see if Frasier can win this one. So for this one, I'm looking to step outside of my grimdark comfort zone. I'm looking to find something a little friendlier, a little more buddy dynamic. So I want your pitches for the best friendship within an indie tome that you have come across. We're looking for buddy adventures. We're looking for companionships. Again, in the audience, if you have any suggestions, please do throw them our way. I'm going to go to... Who am I going to pick on? I'm going to pick on Tom, I think, this time.
I'm going to be cop out, and I'm going to say Callus and Crow by D.B. Rook. Actually, it is a very good buddy cop, not cops. No, it's like a grimdark. Well, no. Are we allowed to say grimdark still? You did say you want to step outside of grimdark.
I mean, is it cozy grimdark? That would be my question.
Well, there are some cozy elements.
There are moments.
It's got its moments.
Depends on your perspective.
I think, in all seriousness, that was the first one that popped into mind, not because it's here in front of me, but the dynamic between Callus and Crow, from when they first meet to how they're sort of forced together through Callus's curse. It's just an interesting dynamic. It's almost father-son, but there's something off about it. It's just a very fascinating story to read and see that relationship develop. And again, I'm not going to plot spoil, but by the end, you will want to reach into your screen and give DB a shake.
Which we can arrange if you would like to do that.
For a small fee, yeah.
Anybody else want to pitch a book that has a strong buddy dynamic or friendship that kind of really caught your attention?
I'm happy to go next. So I'm going to pitch Nick Snape's The Scorching Just Press Play, which is a little bit cop. It's not traditionally a cop buddy thing, but the reason I love it so much is that the buddy is an octopus, kind of armored, semi-robotic octopus that goes along on this incredible journey with a human with a lot of charisma, and the way they interact is beautiful, and the way we actually get an octopus to be a character is beautiful, and it's not absurd in any way. It really works, and it's a brilliant book. Love it, and I'm a tentacle fan.
DB, we're coming in strong there with the robotic octopus.
For sure.
Can anyone pitch higher than a robotic octopus?
Are you a cat lover, Holly?
I mean, obviously.
Then you need to check out The Last Gifts of the Universe by Riley August, because I think that won SPSFC a while ago. But that is a book where there's lots of, basically they're like space archaeologists. There's this crew of like a main character called Scout. I know it's not indie anymore, Joe, but it started indie. So yeah, main character called Scout, and then his cat Pumpkin and his brother, and these three go looking for like archaeological digs in space to try and find some secret thing that's going to help sort of fix the universe type thing scenario. But the relationship between the cat, the brothers, is just, it's lovely and it's cozy and it's the opposite of grimdark. And it started indie, so I read it when it was indie anyway. So take that, Joe.
Yeah, I was going to say, Joe's on to you in the chat. Speaking of Joe, a couple of comments here. So Joe's put Carl and Donut, Dungeon Crawler Carl. And yeah, he's definitely on to you, Frasier. So Tom, did we did your suggestion? Did we say David then?
Yes.
Yes.
Splitting hairs, Joe. I'll just interject that the Dungeon Crawler Carl is also now trad.
Hey, oh.
Majorly so.
Speaking
God
of
damn it, Donut!
speaking of indie gone trad, the one that came to my mind, because Cozy was a big feature, is Friendships That Are in Senlin of Sins by Josiah Bancroft. This book is not everybody's cup of tea. It's whimsical and it's kind of parable like. It's kind of hard to define. It's sort of steampunk fantasy. But our hero, throughout the course of this, I think it's 4 books, which I liked all of them, and I liked the ending. I don't care what anybody else says about the ending. But he meets a lot of people, and there are friendships between folks there that aren't necessarily romantic. Sometimes a romance is kind of forced in other series or other stories. It never is that way here. There is, some moments, but it feels cozy because you're on a ship. You eventually, it's Sky Pirates kind of, which is right up Tom's alley. And yeah, there. As much as I like, grit and people being hateful toward one another, even if they're best buddies, there's just a lot of comfiness aboard the ship and with the different characters. And no two specifically, but you got Senlin. We do have a kind of autonomous or an automaton that I don't remember what's running. It might be a deer with just some kind of like augmentations, and now it's a butler. And all it wants is a plain normal life, but people see it and they kind of freak out because it's a deer with antlers. For a while, it's got 2 antlers. Not to get spoilerish, this coffee is going to not help me keep from rambling today. There's just a lot of cool. There's a lot of, and each character is very unique. Each brings something different to the table, and they all have this cool companion, like a party. That's my answer. And again, I know it has gone trad. That's the problem with winning SPFBO or even placing highly in it. You're likely to get swooped up by the dark side.
This is the thing, and at the end of the day, it's incredible to see indies having so much success. So we do talk about these books because they are examples of how indie can take that trajectory to another level. But we are going to declare a winner for this round for the buddy recommendation. It's going to have to be DB Rook with the robotic octopus for this round. DB, just remind us the book you have pitched.
The Scorching Just Press Play by Nick Snape. It's kind of a very, very nice end of the world, scientific, underwater spy type mashup.
Awesome. So I have one more recommendation requirement. So Frasier and Tom, there's still a chance to win one of these pitches. So I would like a recommendation for your favorite indie book that features mutants, monsters, or experimentation.
Ooh, I'm gonna go. I can't remember the name of the author. I'm just gonna Google it. But I'm gonna go with is that it? It's is it Tasmanian Gothic? It's something like that. It's basically it's a book. I wish I could remember the person who wrote it. It's in my Kindle somewhere. And there are all mutants, but you're able to like graft sort of things. So for example, one of the characters, because mutants they're kind of like outlaws, it's like an X-Men situation. But the main character has like some moth wings grafted onto them. And then through the book, they start off sort of like normal, and then they sort of like begin to inherit these like mutant traits, and at the same time you've got this relationship that happens with other mutants, and it sort of takes lots of weird sort of like you've got like a big camp where they all are like a safe space for them, and it's basically the mutant aspects of it are written so well, and you are so sucked into it that you feel through the book like you're growing wings. So I feel like it's, for me, like straight away I was like, that's the one. I'm gonna do more Googling while everybody else tells their stuff, and then when I find it, I'll give you the name and author thing.
You Google away, Frasier.
Hang on, it's Tasmanian Gothic by Michaela Kopievsky. That's what it is.
Awesome. That's a strong start to this round.
It's like Mad Max meets X-Men. It's like post-apocalyptic mutant awesomeness.
Yeah, okay. This is going to be a tough one to beat. Now, does anybody want to...
That's the cover.
Ooh.
Very cool. Again, we will put all of the books that we talk about down in the description. Does anybody else want to pitch a mutant, monsters, or experimentation story?
Jeez, that's tough.
I can stay on the post-apocalyptic vibe. I'm really impressed that I've actually chosen these things. So, Hand of God by Yuval Kordov.
Oh, cool!
Which is just an incredible book, and it's got all of the things you need in it. But
it's all the things.
All the things.
All the things.
But he writes. So Yuval writes in a very organic, very non-hand-holding kind of way. A really visceral, organic author who writes about mech and religion and how technology and religion smash together in some bleak future, and I just don't know how he manages to do it. So you've got mutants, you've got these kind of organically fed mechs, you've got nuns that are kind of part machine. Need I say more? It's just beautiful, and the way he writes is not at all how you kind of expect something sciencey to be written. It drips from the page. Beautiful.
I mean, that sounds like a strong sale to me. I'm pretty much just sneakily Googling now in the corner of my phone. Anybody else want to pitch a Monsters Mayhem, cool science experiments?
I'll probably be kicking myself after this for not remembering something super obvious, but this is another shout out to San Lena Sins, just because there are specifically, like I said, automatons made by the Sphinx, and she herself, or he, not to spoil, damn it, coffee, is a bit of a aberration itself. But there are beasts that were made for a purpose, like cleaning chimneys or whatever, that have gone rogue and now are horrifying and will kill you, and just all kinds of, mainly automatons. So it's like steampunk sort of beasts. This doesn't feel like a contender, but I didn't want to not have an answer.
I mean, I think there is definitely some things that would pique my interest there. I'm interested to see if Tom has got anything that could possibly steal this one.
Possibly. Mine's left of field, and it's monsters orientated, and that the story revolves around a giant. But it's not like a scary or unpleasant story. It's called The Legend of the Dream Giants by a guy called Dustin Hanson. Dustin, the guy who's in like the video game industry. I think he worked on things like Rift. Remember that one? Like way back when, point and click. But Legend of the Dream Giants, it's this story of loss and loneliness. The main character is like a giant who's held guilty by association. There was this terrible human-killing giant called Unhold, and obviously humans think, hey, this giant's a bad guy. All giants are. And it's just all about the search for friendship, coping with isolation. And it was such a moving story and so beautifully written. And it's one of those books, like, you really want people to discover it because not enough people have read it. Not enough people have got a copy. So, yeah, Legend of the Dream Giants, Dustin Hanson. You'll cry. You'll feel all like warm and fuzzy by the end of it. It's just a magnificent story.
I mean, that's what we want from every book, isn't it? To have a good cry and then feel warm and fuzzy at the end of it.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to have to give it to my wonderful host, Frasier Armitage, on this one, purely because I feel like if I don't let him win one round, he'll quit, and then I'll have to do all of these panels. So, and nobody
honestly,
wants that.
The book is right up your street, Holly, because it's like it's got grimdark elements and it's like it's gritty and it's violent and it's all the good stuff. Tasmanian Gothic by Michaela Kopievsky. I'm so glad I remembered like one, like, so that nobody had a problem with. So that's, for me, I feel like that's a win in itself. So.
Absolutely. And just to prove that I'm not completely heartless and unfair, I'm going to throw out a few pictures of my own, because it was very mean to put you all on the spot like that. So a couple from me. I'm going to say most unique use of a magic system, or the one that I've enjoyed the most, the Bloodwoven trilogy by G.J. Terrell. That is a really awesome series of books. It's got a really cool magic system, which kind of the name sort of gives you a hint, but thematically it's very much about kind of threads and the pulling together of them. The best buddy dynamic, I'm going to shout out a little recommendation for Sean Crow's Valhalla Steel, particularly the dynamics between Yuri and Angus, two of the chem dealing Vikings. They're not really Vikings, but sort of Norse kind of themed. And then for Mutants, Monsters and Experimentation, I'm going to give two recommendations. I'm going to recommend, in fact, I'm going to have to look it up because unfortunately I can't remember the name of it, which is a bit embarrassing because he's actually been at one of the panels this week. But it's Steve Pannett's book. I believe it's The Sins of Steel and Shadow, which is the book I've pretty much just finished actually and need to write a review for. But that is about vampires, but it is a very cool, unique take on vampires that I haven't seen before. So that is worth a look. And also Thomas Howard Riley's The Monsters We Feed has got a sort of alchemical, steampunky ambience to it that I did enjoy. So quick shout out just to prove that I'm not completely unfair. But that is the first half of our chat tonight, and I'd like to move into the second half, which is talking about these guys because they have a pretty awesome channel themselves, Four Beardsmen of the Bookpocalypse, where they talk to author guests and they play some RPGs. And I'm going to open it up now for you guys to tell us a little bit more about what it is you've been up to recently.
Tommy Tom.
Yeah.
Why would you choose me? Why?
Game master and host extraordinaire.
Yeah, I'm good at making up the RPG stuff, but yeah, put me on the stop. Yeah,
it's like trying to describe your own book, isn't it? As soon as someone asks you, you think, "Oh, I don't know, I can't tell you."
I can tell you
the crazy thing. We're coming up 2 years now doing the podcast. We obviously drafted Charlie in. I think that was start of this year. No, Halloween special last year.
Charlie, we missed you.
Hey.
Wake up,
We did a
Charlie.
big reveal. He unmasked himself, and Charlie joined the podcast. Yeah. Charlie's like the real driver. He's the one who does the scheduling. We have a spreadsheet that he
does.
looks after.
He's admin.
He's like your dad.
And we wanted to think of him as the diversity hire because we didn't want
both hemispheres covered.
People to think that we were kind of anti-no bearders. So it's just a bit of balance.
I mean, I had heard the rumours, but I kind of want to talk a little bit about the RPG that you do, because I've been fortunate enough to come along and play, and it was genuinely one of the most fun things that I have done.
Nugget.
It was
your
beard's
fantastic. Your beard's name was Nugget. It was removable.
Yeah.
And
yes,
you were a wasteland chef.
Remember.
Yes, Nugget will live in infamy forevermore. But I want to ask, where did the idea of doing an interview or a panel type podcast combined with an RPG come from?
I think one of the drivers for it was we wanted to try and make our podcast feel a little bit different. There's a lot of brilliant podcasts out there, but there's a lot of repetition. Like, you have an author panel, maybe 1, 2, 3 plus authors, talk about books, talk about themes. So yeah, we do that with the panel episodes. Like, why wouldn't we? But we just wanted to do something a little bit fresher, different, but we still wanted an author the chance to talk about themselves. So yeah, we kind of collaborated on it. We came up with the idea of we'll just do a pretty much a rulesless RPG. Let's face it, there aren't really any rules. We just make it up.
We try.
Apart from if you want to do a skill check, like in D&D, for example, you roll your perception check or what have you. We thought it'd be fun and chaotic if you just told a personal anecdote, and then we make up a stat based on that.
Yeah, that's cool.
And it was after the very first session we did where DB told a story about how he could smell dead rats through the floorboards.
He was tasked to. It was his job.
Yeah.
What a job.
Nasal. And I was paid for the skill, so I am a professional rat sniffer officially.
Which gave you like a nasal perception skill of, what was it, 40?
40, I think.
It should have been higher than it. It was good.
And like, we were just pissing about, but we've had multiple authors. Like, we did one with Anna Smith Spark a few weeks ago.
That was awesome.
Which was insane. And
we went ahead and maxed her stats. She had maxed out stats just because she's the queen of Grimdark. She may as well be a god. And the rest of our characters just sort of followed in her footsteps in all.
Yeah.
Of the chaos she unfolded.
Yeah, I think you get those guests sometimes where you think you don't even have to roll for stats. Just have them. Have them all.
Yeah. We're happy you're here. Do what you want to do.
You don't question Anna Smith Spark. You just roll with it.
You just roll with it.
What I want to know is, DB, how did you learn you had this talent?
So it's not as exciting as it probably sounds, but I in my other life I run a homeless drug and alcohol center, and we moved into a new building during COVID, which was infested with rats. So we didn't know for a while until we spotted a few. We got people in, they poisoned the rats. They went through the whole rigmarole of how to de-rat your premises. But sadly, that meant that a lot of them would die in the floorboards. And then we would just have this horrendous stink. And a lot of the time after the clients had all gone home, that was the time when we had to try and figure out which floorboards to pull up to remove said dead rat carcasses. So I had to sniff out the relevant floorboards and pull them up, and it was a horrendous time, but we succeeded, and now we are rat free.
Is it case of it's the kind of smell where it's like once sniffed, always sniffed? Like the next time that it happens, you're just like something pings, right?
Definitely. Yeah.
I bet at the time you didn't know what would eventually come of you. I don't know, putting that to use.
No, I thought that was the end of that particular skill, but it's become an ongoing. I'm an ongoing champion of nasal perception.
I feel like we're getting an in-depth look into the glamorous life of DB Rook at the moment.
All glamour. Yeah.
So, I mean, I feel like this is going to be a tough one to beat, but in your RPGs that you've played, has anybody come up with a talent or a skill that is more weird than dead rat sniffing?
I'm looking at mine right now. They're not more weird. I definitely have jerry rigging because of a very ancient lawnmower that I kept long past its usefulness, put duct tape on and put wires, and you had to kick it, and if you didn't use it correctly, it would continue to rev to what felt like it was going to be an explosive degree. Not stranger than nasal perception, but it was useful in the moment when we needed jerry rigging.
I mean, I think, speaking as someone who DMs a lot as well, I think one of the joys and the horrors of doing something like an RPG, particularly with people who have overactive imaginations, as authors tend to do, is that it is really a case of you have to roll with the punches.
God.
I don't know if any of you DM in kind of other games. I know, Tom, you very much take the mantle with the podcast. But have there been moments where you've genuinely thought, oh, God, I don't know where this is going?
Every episode.
There was the classic, not the Anna Smith, is the episode before Anna Smith Spark, we had AC Cross. It was my fault for booking AC Cross. And I hold my hands up. I knew what I was expecting, and he didn't disappoint. Basically, the party found themselves in a demolition death derby. Like, think Mad Max Thunderdome kind of thing. And it transpired that the Beardsmen jerry-rigged. I think that's where we got the jerry-rig skill, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They jerry-rigged some bumper cars and entered those in the death derby.
Into like a pod racer from Star Wars. It's sort of like a pod racer is what we put together.
Is it like a Temu version? Yeah.
Yeah,
for sure.
It was like
Plus
Mad
death.
Max meets Star Wars Episode 1, Phantom Menace, the pod race. And of course, the host of the race had let's say, installed explosives in each of the vehicles.
As you do.
Yes. Well, one of the racers was on horseback. So Aaron quite understandably asked, how is the horse rigged to explode? I feel like maybe you should have to watch the episode, but it did turn out.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you picture this episode really well, because we all need to know now what happens to this horse and how the explosion happened.
For what it's worth, that came back around in the next episode when Anna Smith Spark joined us. There were residual
bits of horse.
Yeah.
It just transpired that a grenade had been inserted in the horse's ass.
I mean, that was going to be my guess. Yeah. I mean, it's the great joy and the fun of doing something like that. And I do love the fact that you guys are doing something completely weird and unusual, and that I've had the joy of playing it. So I guess my last question, sort of as part of this chat for you, is going to be why? Why you've been doing this for 2 years? What do you all get out of it? You know, what makes you keep coming back and doing it over and over?
Well, now we're buddies. Now we're friends, and we care about what's going on with each other. And we're kind of up on each other's I mean, not to a humongous degree, but up on each other's kind of day to day. We are rooting for each other to succeed in our various endeavors, mostly probably literary.
Yeah.
Also, I love talking to strangers. I like I feel like I expand my brain every single time we have I'm taking note time we have a talk. Just I'm learning things about books and stuff. I don't have my keyboard today, so my notes. I know that you said you're going to post it, but they're handwritten. Just because I like meeting folks. I like talking to people from places I've never thought about. Just different folks. That's my answer.
We met some incredible people.
Mm-hmm.
Like we when we talked to Baptiste Pinson Wu, it was about Chinese history.
Oh gosh,
with
for
the dynasties, writing horror samurai books. You go from that to Jenny Wurtz was on the podcast.
God. Yeah,
and she came up with the immortal phrase "dropping rocks."
That was off. I think that was off the record. I was in there dropping rocks, is what she said.
We had Joe Byrne on telling us about his mortal rivalry with Frasier.
Oh yeah,
which continues to this day.
I was supposed to be on at the same time, and I was ill.
That's right.
So I wasn't able to come on. So Joe basically just totally destroyed. It was basically it was amazing, Joe.
We talked about Keanu Reeves a lot.
I know, and I still to this day, it is number one. My biggest regrets in life is being ill for that, because any chance to talk Keanu, I'm there. Like,
I was so good too.
You guys know this. Like, I'm Keanu mad. So yeah, I feel like when I do come on in future, I feel like if there's no mention of Keanu, I would be. I think I might just live sort of just take a dagger to the heart, but yeah.
I mean, I'd assume you didn't, Frasier, because again, I would end up having to host this channel by myself, and I don't think anyone needs that to happen. I just want to say quick hello to Alex, who's joined us in the chat. Evening, Alex. Nice to see you. Yeah, I do well. Very train of thought there. Yes.
I think DB's answer to your question, Holly, is that he continues to do the podcast because he wants to feel better about his day job. Because let's face it, shoving grenades into horses' buttholes is a much worse job than rat sniffing at a shelter. So I feel like DB's getting way more out of this than.
Yeah, I'm just slowly eking out a more happy, fulfilling life.
I mean, I feel like you're playing fast and loose with the shoveling dynamite into a horse's ass being better than having to sniff dead rats from under a floorboard.
Oh, give me the choice. I'm rat sniffing. Like I'm not going near a horse's butthole in any capacity. Thank you very
sedated. Much. I'm sure it was sedated.
This is how it goes on Spotlight Indie, folks. You heard it here first. Frasier Armitage does not want to shove grenades up a horse's ass.
Shocking news.
Shockingly. But there was a kind of a reason I did ask that question, because as much as it may seem obvious that the reason we do this is because it's cool to hang out with our buddies, it is all about making connections and kind of building those friendships, building those support networks. And I think the reason why I enjoyed my time so much on the Beardsmen was because it is just like walking in to spend time with a bunch of friends. And it was genuinely a very relaxing and fun experience. So quick fire round just to finish this up, and then I'm going to give you all a chance to pitch your various books and things. If you could pick any guest, and Frasier, I'm going to open this up to you as well. If you could pick any guest from the indie writing world to come on and play a few hours of RPG with you, who would be your number one choice that you haven't had already? Because I mean, obviously it's me and Frasier.
Of course, yeah.
Of course, yeah.
Dang. I'll tell you this: there's a lot of people on our list that we're planning to have, and that we are reaching out to, and that I'm terrible at trying to making these things work. So I'm hesitant to say any of the names that I'm still actively trying to get on, but there's a lot. One of you guys go first.
I feel like Michael Fletcher would be good.
It's true.
Yeah.
For sure.
Never asked him, but
no, we haven't.
I feel like he has the our secret power of darkness and complete tangents, and I think he will throw a bomb in there and make us go in a different direction every time, which is our trademark.
Michael, if you're watching this, get in touch with the Beardsmen. You won't regret it. What about you, Tom? Anyone on your kind of wish list?
It's a tough one. What I've liked recently is we've opened it up to the guests. So we say, what do you want to do? Do you want to do the RPG or the panel? And that's the way it worked with Anna Smith Spark. It was just an off the cuff. DB were doing a weekend with her in the sort of literary space, and got the connection, gave her the choice, and we all thought she'd go panel. And she was the one who said, I want to do the RPG. So I wouldn't say it peaked, because every RPG we've done with every author has been amazing. I'm very fortunate to run the game for these guys. But on my list, Emily Inkpen, Frasier.
We love
Primarily
Emily.
because I've done D&D with her for TBRCon, and that was fun. We want to get Yuval on at some stage to do something mech related, I imagine.
Oh, cool.
And that's a really hard question to answer.
It
Do you
is.
know
It's
who
a
I would-
sneaky
do you know who-
question.
Who I would love to see as a guest doing the RPG, but just because of the pure chaos it would bring. I would love to see Ed Crocker. Like, that would be. I think that in terms of like surprising, derailing guests, I don't think you can get.
He's on our list.
Yeah.
Is he?
He's on our, he's on our proposed.
Yeah.
I
There we
can see
Oh,
go.
you
that
know who'd be
working.
wild? You know who'd be crazy? I think Nick Horvath.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That might be a strange one. He's got a lot to say.
He'd just be crazy, full stop.
Yeah. No
Yeah.
matter what.
Yeah.
Like
Connor.
CM Caplan would be. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. That is a good shout.
Connor
100%.
would be fucking
Yeah.
wild. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would definitely throw in a pitch for Crystal Matar, who was on our panel last night. I think Crystal would be a great guest. I'm not sure if you've already had her on,
No.
but yeah, definitely. I think would
Sometimes,
roll with it 100%.
yeah. Sometimes there's a hesitation because not everybody is kind of RPG friendly, and they might not even know what we're talking about. So that's the only reason sometimes we don't approach and ask that question. But
Yeah, this is true. But
Some people hear RPG and think Robert Downey Jr. Like, what's got to do with it?
I mean, there's a first time for everything, and I think if you're going to have your first RPG experience, doing it with the Beardsmen, there could be worse ways to do it.
It's a beautiful icebreaker. That might be
I
why
think
we
so.
started. Where I don't know if
Yeah.
Charlie had played before. We were like, this is what it's about for those who don't know. And I think I had my experience was limited, believe it or not. I've always wanted to play more, but my friends were never cool enough to play D&D coming up. So now they are.
I mean, all the cool kids are doing it.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
So I was a little bit sneaky there. I was trying to get you to spill the beans on some dream guests. But in terms of actual guests that are booked in, what have you got coming up that you can tell us about?
So the next session is a panel, and that's with Adrian Gibson.
Awesome.
I think we're posting our promo for it tomorrow. So
Tomorrow.
keep an eye out. And that is coming on what
The
day
10th.
is he? The 10th. Yes.
yeah.
So we're talking Mushroom Blues, Fanfare Addict, SFF Addicts, everything mushroom related.
And whatever I can dig up while I do professional research.
Yeah.
Awesome.
The next RPG is Thomas Devons, isn't it?
Yeah. Thomas
Ah,
Devons.
amazing.
Awesome.
Love Thomas.
Yes.
And then Anna Stevens after Tom, I think.
That's right.
Again, love Anna. Absolutely fantastic author.
That's going to be scary too.
Yeah,
she's
because
also
she's
been
a
an
pro. She's a D&D pro.
Yeah. No
No
pressure.
Tom.
Thomas Devons has just said in the chat, can't wait. Thomas is actually going to be on a panel with us later as well. So I'm going to assume he's talking about both being on our panel and being on the Beardsmen when he says can't wait. Both
Absolutely.
equally as exciting.
100%.
We're kind of coming into the last few minutes now of the chat, so and it is important that I give you all a chance to pitch any books or projects that you want to talk about before we wrap things up. So we're going to go around, and I'm actually going to force Frasier Armitage to talk about his books, because he always goes, "I'm Frasier Armitage and I write books," and he doesn't elaborate on this. So Frasier Armitage, elaborate.
So my most recent book that released last month, it's not even a month old yet, is Cage of Stars. It won the Sci-Fi Idea Dyson Sphere contest, and it got shortlisted for the Andromeda Award. It was designed as a paperback on the inside and the outside by Adrian M. Gibson, and he did a fantastic job with it. It is a beautiful job that he's done. He's made it into absolute art. But that is a book that, if you want to sort of get to know me as an author, that's a good starting point, because it's the most recent one. In terms of me, you can find me here on the Spotlight Indie channel, or you can go to my website, FrasierArmitage.com, and just type in @FrasierArmitage at all the usual socials, and you'll find me as well. But yeah, I thank you, Holly, for letting me just throw out Cage of Stars, because I think it's a really cool book, and I want other people to enjoy it. So yeah. But if you get it as a paperback, because it's great. Say that again, Dewey.
Got a copy within reach?
No.
He's not that well prepared. No, I mean, Frasier, you need to shout out about your books more often. You literally have your own platform to shout out about your books, and you never do. It is a travesty, my friend, a travesty. Tom, tell us more about this mysterious anthology you alluded to earlier.
I shall, but all of Frasier's books are cool. I'm just going to throw that out there.
They are.
Thanks, Tom.
It's not just Cage of Stars. You've written many, many books. I don't know how you do it. It's fun. We write, right? That's what we do. But Tom, I will always be indebted to Tom. He was my very, very first launch party. It was me, Tom, Emily, and that was for New Yesterday, and it was it was great fun. And that's when we found out that my old dining table sounds like a drum. It was a great time. And so but there's loads of books out there. Go check it out. It's great. And thanks, Tom. I'm glad you like them. You're welcome. Yes Tomorrow, New Yesterday was where I started. And then there's a slippery slope, the gateway drug that is the Frasier Armitage back catalogue.
That's how I refer to him all the time.
Yes, I'm working on a number of books. So my debut novel hopefully will be out at some point. That's called The Corsair. It's a sky pirate fantasy. You think Treasure Island, but Jim Hawkins becomes a pirate and the ships can fly. There's a tie-in short story which is in Locks and Keys, which is the Secret Scribes anthology. Holly, you mentioned G.J. Tarrell, who has a story in this one as well, or the Blood Ribbon trilogy. Secret Scribes, just a group of fantasy authors. There's around 10 or so of us have done a story for this book. We've got some amazing reviews coming in already from the ARC readers, but an incredible one from Esme from the Before We Go blog, which is incredibly humbling for all of us. But yeah, it was such a fun project to work on. The stories are really good. Mine's okay, but it's got a floating fishing village being raided by sky pirates.
Awesome.
So if that's your cup of tea, I suggest you get a copy. It's out October the 28th. And because I've already spoiled the launch of it, there's another anthology coming out, which myself and DB have written stories for, and that is curated by our very own Frasier Armitage. That is a Fan Fight Addict anthology.
Hey.
Cool.
I'm not going to spoil the title, though.
Awesome.
It's amazing. Can't wait for people to enjoy these stories. It's gonna be so good.
Yeah,
Love it. Love a good anthology. Let's go down the screen. David, do you want to tell us a little bit about what you've got to plug while you're here?
Violence and Vigilance. Yet again, it's a I would call it epic fantasy, just because of the stakes and because of the characters and because of the size of it. But gritty, just because, gosh, it's so pretty when I see it in somebody else's hand. Gritty, because the word grimdark is slippery, and I don't want to suggest there's no hope. There is hope. That's what they're fighting for. And it's a story about grief and how what the things that grief can drive you to do, for better or worse, and the way it can twist you and the way it can motivate you. Book 2 is in the works. I'm writing diligently on it, and I plan to never, ever, ever write a book with this many points of view ever again, because what I flippantly introduced here, I now have to satisfactorily conclude in book 2, and I could kick past me's ass for that. But I plan on it being great. So far, I like it, and that's a good sign, because I've been working on this series for over 10 years, and so I don't hate it, and that's for me, a good sign.
I mean, I think that's always a good sign if you don't hate your own book. And I think it's the universal author experience, isn't it? If you get to the end of the book and you don't think, I'm never doing this particular thing again, you've done it wrong. There's always going to be something.
That's good to hear.
DB, we've heard a little bit of mention of one of your books today, but I know you have a few books under your belt.
Well, so there's Callous and Crow, my debut. Yay! Multiple copies. And as we spoke about earlier, it's kind of a bit vampiric, a bit addiction based Western story of redemption and revenge. It's got cowboys, it's got a bit of steampunk, a bit of horror, bit of lots and lots of things. It's got trolls in it, it's got everything you can possibly imagine in it. And I'm very close to finishing the sequel of that beauty. Nice. But speaking of kind of not wanting to write the next book, so when I wrote that and got that out in the world, and I needed to start on the next one, I needed a break. So I wrote this
Residuum.
Oh,
I need one.
Which is a bit more, not quite as dark, a little bit dark, but not quite. Sci-fi, space opera, space pirate-y kind of robot genocide escaping adventure with colourful characters.
Giant spiders.
So that's the current thing. And giant spiders. Very, very big spiders. So that's my current thing while I get the next Callous and Crow book out.
Amazing. And it has got to that point now where we've reached the time where Frasier's about to turn back into a pumpkin at any moment. So we are going to have to bring this discussion to an end. If you are watching this, I hope that your TBR list has grown exponentially during the course of the last hour. All that remains to be said is please do go and check out the 4 Beardsmen of the Bookpocalypse. Go and watch their videos. Go and buy their books because they're awesome guys, and it's been an absolute pleasure to have them on the channel. Frasier and I will be back in about an hour's time for our final panel of the big indie weekend. We're having a big wrap-up party with some of our friends, so come along, join us for that.
Is that live?
It is alive, yes, and you'll be pleased to hear Frasier will be back in the hosting seat. So normal service will resume, and it will be either more or less chaotic. We're not sure which yet. Just to remind people, all of the giveaways that we've had going over the weekend have now closed. So we will be tabulating all of the entries, and we will be announcing all of our winners in the next panel. So thank you very much to my guests. Thank you very much to everyone who has been watching in the chat. And we will sign off and see you later. Bye.
Bye-bye.